Morning. I thought I would do this quick video this morning rather than a post. So I am in rural France. I'll try and do a quick looky-see so you can have a look. That's the fog down in the valley just opposite where we are. So this property has been in my wife's family for nearly 3 generations. So what's the purpose of dragging you out at this early hour of the morning? One of the things that Luke and I have been talking about is my book and what should be in the book. And a lot of that conversation is focused on mindset. But the truth of the matter is that the reason why most of you struggle, and most of all of us really struggle, is not because of mindset. So we can set goals. We can be positive. We can be resilient. These are all good skills, good mindset skills that every good entrepreneur needs to have in their toolkit. But what really undoes us is actually our emotional self. So the unconscious part of ourself that often acts out. So there's a very old part of the brain, the reptilian brain, the limbic system it's called. And that part of the brain is shared by every mammal. So it is not thousands of years old, but hundreds of millions of years old. And its sole purpose is to keep you safe. So our brain is actually geared towards negativity. So it's always constantly looking for a threat. Now, a prefrontal cortex, which is this bit at the front, that is predominantly focused on higher kind of reasoning, social brain, and all of that kind of good stuff. And this is the planner part of the brain. This is the creative part of the brain. The big challenge is that when you're an entrepreneur, you are able to see your vision. And as you move towards that vision, you expand. It's a process of mastery. The problem is, in that process of expansion, the limbic brain senses a threat. As soon as you go outside of your comfort zone, it senses a threat. And it will do everything to draw you back in, including things like distraction. It will distract you. It will start telling you stories about why you're not good enough. It will bring things up from the past failures and replay them in glorious technicolor for you to say, this is why you shouldn't be going to this next step. And I've seen and experienced myself personally where business has grown very quickly. This natural fear comes rampaging in. Every time you expand, you're also battling with this part of your brain which is trying to contract you all of the time. So if I had just focused on mindset in the book, this kind of higher reasoning part of your brain, and ignored the limbic system, this fight or flight system, this ancient part of the brain that's been shared by every mammal for hundreds of millions of years, then you'll never achieve the kind of success that you want. You'll get to a certain level of success and then you'll self-sabotage, often unconsciously. And I've seen that over and over and over again. I've seen really good businesses, and so has Luke, that started well, started to grow, and then the owner did something that sabotaged the whole thing. So for the experienced business owners, this process of expansion will continue, as will these sort of unconscious and conscious fears and contraction. That will continue. But the more you become aware of some of these patterns, the easier it is for you to overcome them. If you're brand new to business or you're quite early into the game, a year in or 2 years in, I guarantee that the reason you're not achieving the success you want to achieve right now is because this older part of your brain, this limbic system, is kind of running the game. So I once heard a great phrase that people stop in business when the pain of going forward seems to be greater than the pain of going back. And that's what we used to see quite a lot too, Luke and I. People get to a certain threshold and then they contract. So if you're procrastinating, if you're not achieving what you hope to achieve, if you've got this great vision, but then you find yourself going around in circles, understand that it's this part of the brain, often unconscious patterns, that are holding you back. Try and make them conscious, because as soon as you do, and as soon as you know that maybe you failed at some exam at school when you were 6 years old, and that's really what's playing out now, this fear of failure. fear of success, fear of losing your friends if you have lots of money, fear of, you know, looking foolish in front of people if you blow things up, which I've done, Luke's done, every successful person I know has done, and being a complete fool. And just be at peace with that. Okay, whatever that fear is, though, put it under the spotlight, because when you do, you'll recognize the patterns of thought that are holding you back. So as soon as they occur, you overcome them quickly. So there you go. That's it for this morning. I'll leave you with this really beautiful sunrise. It's around about 6:30 a.m. I think at the minute. So thanks for hanging out, and I will see you again next week.